You are no longer witnessing MrFatzion, no. I am Blade, MrFatzion's favorite superhero from the movie Blade. Also from the comics, Blade. This is my Blade. And I'm here to let you MrFatzion fans know that if there are any vampires out there, I will destroy them. It's really just me, you guys. I'm really not Blade. I mean, if I was really Blade, I'd talk a lot louder, right? So that's what black folks do. They talk loud. Hashtag. That's not racist at all. No. You know why? It's because I said so. That's why it's not racist. And besides, I'm a fan of Blade. He's black. Why? I mean, I'm not racist. Hello, my fellow factiles. Welcome to my very first video ever. My very first video will be Tales of Africa. But first, let me tell you about Audibles.com. Are you a little too lazy to read a book? Then Audibles.com. Hey, blind as a bat? Then you need that. Audibles.com. First, my fellow factiles, I want to tell you stories of that enchanted land, Africa. Let me tell you a story about a voodoo witch doctor that I came across in my journeys through Africa. He sat me down in his hut and he told me that only few ears have heard this tale that he was about to tell me of a civil war there in Africa. I was so humble for the experience to hear these words from this voodoo witch doctor. That was totally real, by the way. He was totally there, and he was totally telling me stories. And he told me a speech, word for word, a speech that the great chieftain told before their battle with their rivals. It was early morning on the day of the African Independence Day that was soon to become, but they knew it was there already. They could look into the future. And he said a little something like this. He said, "Good morning. In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind." Mankind. The word should have new meaning for all of us today. But as the day when the world declared in one voice, "We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive." Today, we celebrate our Independence Day, and I swear, right in that hut, I teared up.
Hey, isn't that the president's speech from the movie Independence Day?
How'd you get in here, bro? I will file DMCAs, false privacy complaints, whatever I gotta do. And when you come in here, just cut me off like that, man, in the middle of the chieftain's speech, that was obviously real. And I didn't steal, like you said, from this Independence Day movie. Has anyone even heard of this Independence Day movie? I mean, now, before we get into our second story, let me tell you that this portion of the video is brought to you by Hulu Plus. That's right. Hulu Plus. It's not quite Netflix. This next story, Fat Tiles, comes from Central Africa. I don't remember the specific area, but I do remember this old man, this old African man, because I was in Africa, telling a story about his dead wife. And it was so touching, I had to write it down. I wrote it down, and I'm going to read it word for word. And he said to her as he visited her grave, "You died on a Saturday morning, and I had you placed here under a tree. And I had that house at your father's bulldozed to the ground. Mama always said dying was a part of life."
That's definitely from Forrest Gump.
What are you talking about, MDA? Hey, I'm just telling you right now, the auto boot is initiated, okay? I didn't initiate it. It's automatic. But that's just what happens when trolls come into my videos. So, hey, I'm just telling you. I'm just letting you know. You come in here slandering me. You come in here slandering me. Yeah, the auto boot gets initiated. Look it up. Look up the auto boot on Google. Okay? It's there. It's obviously a real thing. Forrest Gump. I've never heard of Forrest Gump. Come on, man. These slandering lies. Alright, I apologize, my fellow Fat Tiles. I do. I apologize. I do. Gotta get real close to the camera once in a while because you just gotta see me sometimes. Alright? Now let's get into our final story of this video. But before we do, this portion of the video is brought to you by Elmer's Glue. That's right, Elmer's Glue. The official glue of plagiarism. Now, let's move on. That would be a really weird thing to sponsor, plagiarism. I don't know why they would do that, but hey, they're my sponsors, so hey, Elmer's Glue. Alright, let's move on. My travels in Africa were always by foot. I never traveled by plane, never traveled by trains or automobiles. And as I was walking across Africa's countryside, I came across this open hut. And inside, an old African man was telling what I could only imagine his pupil. It wasn't his son, but a pupil. Pupil in what? I may never know because of the deep, dark secrets of Africa. But I did manage to write down in my journal what he said to his pupil. He said, "This is your father's Sharpie. This is a weapon of an accountant. It's not as clumsy or random as a pen or pencil. An elegant weapon for more of a civilized age. For over 1,000 generations, the accountants were the guardians of the taxpayers. That was before the dark times. Before the IRS.
I may not like Star Wars, but holy snickerdoodle ding dong duty McGroove pants slippery slime ball Cena Saiyan. Those are direct quotes from Star Wars."
Come on, man! You know what? Hands are up here, dude. Hands are up here. I'm telling you, the auto boot's going off. Hands are up here. Alright, you see that? You know? I'm just telling you, hands are up here. I'm not... Auto boot. I don't know what happened. That is just the auto boot. But that's okay. We don't need people in here just lying and just slandering away. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable material. I am MrFatzion, and I am a goddamn saint.